Hello everybody and welcome to the playthrough for Expert Division with the tournament win for the Euro Champions Tournament here in Golf Clash the game. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. You can get the best guides on the market by becoming a member at patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link to our ultimate tournament guides is in the description down below. Please follow the info box on the right hand side. There I give you the elevation. I also give you for the first time, and hopefully not the last one, either if it's minimum, medium or maximum distance. It's going to be added into the info box on the right hand side. You can also see the ball and the club that I do suggest you to play with. You don't need to follow, but I do have always a thought. Can we get this video to 200 thumbs up? That would be absolutely amazing. I would be very thankful. There will be plenty of drops in this playthrough and the rest of them will be very close. If you do have any questions, comment in the comment section below, or you do send an email to support@golfclashtommy.com. So, let's freaking go to hole number 1. So for hole number 1, we're going to use the Grizzly, and here I'm using the Grizzly level 8, which has the same power as Grizzly level 7, but not the same as Grizzly level 9. So we're gonna take a little discussion about what to do with Grizzly level 9. Here we do add spin, which is going to be 1 backspin and 1.2 bars of side spin to the left. More importantly, white ring to the right by the rough with the ball guideline pointing to the hole. Then we're going to adjust, once again, maximum distance plus 15 with a minor 1201. So we do want to have a slight 1201 pull angle, maximum distance plus 15. Here you don't need to play with a Centurion. Unfortunately, that is the only win 4 power 3 ball I do have, but you could play with a superstar ball as well, and there's plenty of other type of balls that you can play with. Here I would definitely recommend to have a wind between 6.5 to 7.5 miles per hour. So try to juggle a bit between this, wind 4 and a wind 3. So what do you do if you do play with a Grizzly level 9 that do have 3 more yards than what the Grizzly level 8 and 7 does have? That is that instead of starting in max distance, as you can see here with the Grizzly level 8, we start here in, you see the plus yardage plus 8. So instead you look for the white ring to the right at the plus 5 yard mark for the Grizzly level 9. And obviously with the spin to pin, as you can see here in the example. Hole 2 is a pretty boring hole here in Expert, and the reason I say that is because we are not gonna really find ourselves with a decent chance for an albatross. First and foremost, I go with 4 bars of topspin. My plan is to just lay up very close to the rough line there at the top. And here you can see, honestly, we could maybe have gone with a little bit more topspin or at least use a little bit of overpower. No matter what though, maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and here we are still in complete maximum distance. And here I would honestly like you to play with 1 ring of overpower with the rock level 8. If you don't have at least the rock level 7, I would recommend that you play with your normal driver as the Apocalypse, Thor's Hammer or the extra mile to give yourself the distance. But if we can, we play with the rock, as it will help us tremendously with the ball guideline. Also, if you do have the possibility, power 4 ball, because then you will have no problems getting up to this little island here without having to overpower. Now I guesstimate the topspin a little bit because I'm more afraid of clipping the rough with the second bounce than I am to roll over the green completely. So I just want to make sure that that's not gonna happen. And I personally play this one completely as an eagle and putting more focus on the other holes that will be better in terms of dropping in a bigger extent. Maximum distance with a minus 10%, so it's an under adjustment, half a ball of curl right, and then we're gonna go with a little bit of overpower if that is needed. Having a power 4 ball or power 5 ball for that matter will not require any overpower, and we might have a smidge too much topspin there, but in the end we're looking for a safe eagle, and that's what we got. For hole number 3, we're gonna have our absolute best chance for an eagle in my opinion. Here I'm using 6 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the left, and you may be wondering why do I stick with 6 bars? It's because there is more players having an extra mile level 8 than it is with an extra mile level 9. So we keep ourselves with 6 bars of topspin, 3 bars of left spin, and we start at the plus 2 yard mark with extra mile level 9, which should be the plus 3 yard mark with the extra mile level 8. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and then it's time to take our shot. To give yourself the best reference is to actually look at the ball guideline. We do want the ball guideline to point down into the center for the best type of reference there. 344 yard mark. The 344 yard mark is going to then be played 64% slider, no elevation, and that is with the Grizzly level 9. So first, very important position. Red ring, top of the red ring by the edge of the rough, 1 bar of topspin. You see the top of the red ring there, and that is the same to apply with Grizzly level 7 and level 8. Okay, ball guideline will be going slightly through the hole, and that's why we bounce in a slight uphill position, so we need that little slightly through. And always when we're using slider here, we use that with the mid value. So that's why I have mid in the column. So we played 64% slider, which is 7.9 rings, but you see that I in this example play 7.8. But why do I say 7.9? Because look what happened. I dropped this one on the right side of the pin, which means that we would need 1 extra decimal to get that one right at pin, and that's what we're looking for. So 64% slider, Grizzly level 9, no elevation. So what do you say then if you do have the Grizzly level 7 or Grizzly level 8, which have 3 yards less power? That means that we do need to opt up, we need to add to our slider. So 70% from 344 yard mark when it comes to Grizzly level 7 and level 8, and then 64% for Grizzly level 9. For hole number 4, we're gonna find ourselves in absolute minimum distance while using a power 1 ball with our quarterback. So I'm using a spider ball here, which does have power 1, wind 4. So it's either power 1, wind 4 or power 1, wind 5, whatever suits you the best. So we're using 2 bars of backspin, half a bar of side spin to the left, and then we're gonna try to have a straight pull angle. But as you can see here, I do have a minor 1201 here, and that is what makes this ball to miss, I would have to say. Minimum distance with a 15% over adjustment, power 1 ball setting, and we do hit perfect. And as you can see, the 1201 means that my ball would go a little bit more right than I intended, and that is what I see miss. So with a straight pull, I do believe this one would have dropped. You can obviously play with a different type of power 1 ball if you want to play with a navigator and stuff like that, but I would stick with a wind 4 or a wind 5 ball, reduce the wind, keep minimum distance, blue ring just flushed by the rough line, and then just add 2 backspin, half a bar of left spin, then we are golden. Good chance for an hole-in-one. For hole number 5, you're gonna see me drive the bunker, but the value lies in the adjustment here. So first, we do have 4 bars of topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right, half of the red ring outside there on the rocks. But let's say, you know, more or less like the full yellow ring just there by the rocks completely. Plus 9 is a good yardage, something that we should remember. Here we do have the problem with this shot, the curl. Do not go with any type of curl, please, because you're gonna see me hit the fairway nicely, but the curl is what putting us into the rough or like the sand or whatever. If we could stay away from the curl, that would be perfectly by the green. So 4 bars of topspin with wind that is around 10.5 to 11 miles per hour. If you do have a wind that is below that, I would go with 5 bars of topspin, and if I would be having a wind around 12, I would reduce and even go with 3 bars of topspin, at least now as a start. This will obviously be tweaked while we go through the tournament. Adjust, max plus 10, push up to max, max overpower, stay away from the freaking curl, then you won't drop it into the sand like I do. We're looking to get this ball to the green or close to the green for a simple wedge to get the eagle. This is whatever we like to call it, an absolute must eagle if we're gonna win the tournament. When it comes to hole number 6, we're going to play on the left-hand side. This too obviously have a better chance for the albatross. Here I play with extra mile to give yourself the idea of playing with an extra mile instead of playing with a 240-yard driver. Max side spin to the left. I'm not using any top or backspin whatsoever. Half of the red ring inside the rough. Adjustment is max plus 10. Once we are done, we're gonna push up half a ring. If you do play with a driver that do have 240 yards, like an Apocalypse level 5 plus, then you're not gonna push up in anything. Then you're just gonna take your shot as normal. It bounced nicely over the rough and the sand, and we get, not the rough, but the sand, and we get ourselves up to 339 yards, which is a good yardage, because if we can get there, we're gonna find ourselves not having to go with a lot of topspin. So I'm using here, in this case, spin to pin, or almost to pin. I leave the ball guideline 1 green square short. I would recommend to use a full side spin bars, which means that either go with 1 or with 2. Don't go with anything in between. That's just gonna mess it up. Top spin though, we're gonna have to vary depending on the distance of our drive, but it's gonna be somewhere between 1 to 3 bars of top spin, depending once again on the distance on your drive. I adjust this one max with a 5% over adjustment, and we're gonna see this ball miss to the right of the pin. I'm not entirely sure if a max with no elevation is going to be better. I do, however, think that that's the next thing to try, because here we do come in a little to the right, which means that we do over adjust our shot. So max plus 0 for the next try. If you can play with a win 4 ball like a Centurion or maybe a Superstar ball, that would be even better to reduce the wind even more. For hole number 7, we're gonna go straight forward, and here I want us to use the driver that gives us the most power. In this case, the Apocalypse level 5, but topspin is honestly, I would say, more valuable here. So an extra mile level 9 would kind of be better. But in the end, I decided to go with Apocalypse level 5. So there is definitely room to change driver and stuff like that. Power 5 ball is, in my opinion, key. Okay, because here I'm looking to have the second bounce into the rough. I'm looking to start at around maximum distance. You are not wrong to back up maybe a yard or 2. And this is because, if you do have a little tailwind as we're having now, we might come in a bit too high up, because we don't want to miss the second bounce into the rough. So the ball bounces on the fairway, over the rough and the sand, into the rough, but just barely. So could we back up a little bit? I would be happy, because here we get to 372. We would like to get around 5 yards shorter, so we're gonna have a short iron instead of a wedge. But what do you do if you do have a wedge? You use the wedge that you feel the most comfortable with. Here I do have the Endbringer. Obviously the Rapier is a possibility as well. We're gonna use the bottom part of the fairway with the ball guideline to the hole by using backspin. The thing to have in mind here, that the elevation plays differently with a wedge than it does with a short iron. So with a wedge, we play maximum distance plus 20 from the wedge range here, 372. So 372, we play max plus 20 with our wedge. Unfortunately, I only play 10 rings here. I should be playing this one close to around 12.5 to 13 rings for getting this ball in the hole. But that's the tough part with the wedge, and that's why I personally want to find myself with a short iron instead for a much better and consistent wrestle. You can see we don't even get a zoom in here with a wedge, which means that's a pretty terrible wedge. So if you do get into short iron range, you're gonna go for a dunk. And the dunk is going to be with max backspin, so you are not going to risk anything if you hit the pin or if you just miss the hole completely. But the blue arrows just by the edge of the back end there of the cup. Make sure when you do have your pull angle here that you do not have any 1201. Very important. Minimum distance with a 10% under adjustment, which is 2.8 rings. You pull the bullseye and then it's time to take your shot. Very important as well to be centered into the adjustment ring so you're not finding yourself with any over or under power that could mess it up. Perfect ball, and it's gonna be in every single time. So obviously short iron is the way that I would like to play, but here you have some answers as well when it comes to playing with a wedge. For hole number 8, we're gonna play a power 1 ball and we're gonna find minimum distance as we did on hole number 4. 3 bars of backspin is what I start with, trying to find a way towards the pin here. 3 bars of side spin to the left though, with 2 and a click bars of a backspin. Ball guideline through the hole, approximately 1 green square, and then you can see that we are in complete minimum distance, and then we're just looking at the ball guideline. Now it's time to adjust, and now we're going to adjust minimum distance with a 15% over adjustment power 1 ball setting. I also want you to have a slight 1201 pull angle with this shot. So try to have a slight 1201, and then we're not going to go with any over or under power, obviously, with this type of shot. So we're looking for a rough bump, a great left and a great right will be safe. We have a lot of room, but you can see that the ball comes down very, very nicely right at pin for a lovely hole-in-one here in hole number 8. For hole number 9, we're gonna use the driver that we feel the most comfortable with. You can play with the rock here as well without any issues, but in this example I do go with the Apocalypse level 5. First and foremost, I'm very intrigued to try to go for a power slice, but I would not recommend that if you don't have a superior driver, but almost not even then, because you don't know where you're gonna end up, and you're gonna have to be very lucky to find yourself either on the green or very close to green that you don't have the trees in your face. 6 bars of topspin, so maximum topspin here, and also 3 bars of left spin. Adjustment, maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment. You can play with a ball that is not win 3, that is a win 4, and that will obviously help you to get more wind resistance, especially for the second shot, but for the drive it doesn't really matter. Bounce on the fairway, we're getting it over the bunker nice and easy, and the closer we are to the rough line to the right, the better it's going to be, because then it means we're gonna be shorter amount of distance towards the pin. Second shot, we go with our sniper, we go for a rough bump underneath the tree, and then we do have 1 bar of topspin here, using also 3 bars of right side spin. Here I would strongly recommend though to leave the ball guideline high off pin. So around 1 green square above the pin, so a little bit more than we do have in this example. And then we're also obviously going to adjust according to what club distance we're having. So we're gonna be more or less in maximum distance, no elevation, but obviously +1 with sniper is not entirely max distance, so we do need to reduce. And I play this one 8 rings for an 8.5 miles per hour. Even though this is not a shot that is gonna be that close, but at least it's something to work at. I do believe that this type of play is what we're gonna try to do, because I do believe doing the rough bump there underneath the tree will be the most general safe way to get an eagle, but also with a decent chance for an albatross. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Expert Division with Tournament Wind here in Golf Clash the Game in the Euro Champions Tournament. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Don't forget to join our Discord. Link to Discord in the description down below. Also get our summer special on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link directly in the description down below. Thank you once again for watching and good luck in the Euro Champions Tournament.